Hi, I'm Kate Duffy, Tipping Point Recovery, where we're doing everything different. We are seeing every single day how families are getting onto a path of recovery for themselves. And the results of this are your loved one is a far greater chance of your loved one getting on their path. The problem with drug and alcohol addiction and the recovery and the treatment, the way we treat it currently is we usually wait for it to get really bad before it gets treated because we're waiting for the person who has it to self-identify, to do the things they need to do to get themselves out of it. That's a problem. We are seeing devastating numbers of losses, and these are savable people. We are all savable. So despite what you believe because of what you see in your family, and I do this because it's a narrow view, you're not seeing what we're seeing in who are working in the field, you're seeing your loved one. And I get why you think it's never going to work. It's never going to happen. You need to open up your lens and look wider. And that's what I'm doing for you. That's my mission, is to help you see thousands of stories and thousands of situations where people are recovering because those around them got started first. That's what we're doing at Tipping Point. So today's question is, how do I handle it when one day my loved one says they'll get better 1 minute, and then the next day or the next minute, they're back doing the same old thing? Great question. The question comes up, what do I do? Because I'm getting exhausted and it's a roller coaster and I'm sick of it, or you're getting yanked all around, right? So first, let's just acknowledge that if you're watching this video, you're getting yanked around. And someone who loves you is using or drinking, and they're leaving your relationship every time they do that. So you're alone. I want to acknowledge you and how hard that is. And I want to tell you, if you're listening to this, what we do and teach is how to stop that for yourself. So I like to tell you that picture a fork in the road. One way is addiction and one way is recovery. Because this is the reality, guys. Addiction goes in one of two ways. It either gets better or it gets worse. That's it. There's no middle ground. This is a forever thing. This is a lifelong, complex condition that either gets better or doesn't. And when it doesn't, it gets worse. And you've seen that, right? Over the years that you've been dealing with this. So if you're asking the question, it means you're ready to pay attention and do something different. So what's happening for your loved one is, imagine that we all have 100 light switches inside us. Okay? And when we're born, they're all on. All of the light switches are flicked on. Over time, our light switches get flicked off by the world, by people. You're not that smart. You're not as good at that. We shut off our own switches, and the world shuts off our own switches. It's really domestication. It's kind of how humans are. Okay? We start out perfect and whole, and then over time, we get maybe realistic or social expectations, parental expectations, right? Societal. With someone struggling with drug and alcohol addiction, we are abusing our body. We are abusing our mind daily. We're poisoning ourselves. We are switching off our light switches. So when someone is at the end, whatever that end looks like, and there are multiple ends or bottoms, most, if not all, of those switches are off. Okay? So imagine I'm telling you, I want to get better today. That means that one of the switches went on. That's the part of me that I'm speaking through. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep doing this. I won't do it again. That's that part of me. But remember, I've got all my other switches are off. So very quickly, those switches, which are really the predominant part of me, that negative part of me that's being controlled, most of myself is being controlled by the addiction, that's going to dominate and that's going to take over and that's going to change my mind, and I'm going to self-medicate. Because what I want people to really understand is the problem is not alcohol. The problem is not drugs. The problem is living life without drugs and alcohol. Drugs and alcohol are the solution. So if I tell you one day that I really want to get better and I'm sorry, I can tell you right now, 100% of the time, we mean that. we mean that. We just can't hold that state. We can't hold that state for long because all the other switches are off. And our brain is hardwired to shut off any pain. We have no coping skills. We don't know how to live life without using or drinking. So the impulse to drink is greater than anything else. So when we relapse or drink, even though we've just told you, it's because there's no other way. That's the definition of addiction. So a lot of times what I feel saddened by is we don't really understand addiction because we're not responding to it as if it was addiction. We're responding to it as if it's a person who's rationally thinking that's just messing with you. They're not. I can promise you, because I was that. I wasn't doing this because I wanted to. None of us are. So what do you do in that situation is you get away from it. You don't get away from it in the sense that you flip us off or push us out or kick us away. I mean, you certainly can do that. That's always your choice. But that's not what we're recommending. We're recommending that you see it as poison coming at you, not your loved one, not your loved one. Poison is coming at you. You're going to turn away from that poison. I'm going to step away from this because I'm finished feeling this. I'm finished taking this. So you turn away. And then when the switches are back on, that's when you can connect with us or someone else to help your loved one get on a path. But just remember, it goes in one of two ways. It either gets better or it doesn't get better. And you can help it get better. We're helping families, even one person at a time, create the tipping point for your loved one. So check out our introductory program, Stop the Chaos. Attend our double circle meeting on Thursday nights. Come on in some way and let us get to know you. Let us help your family. I'll see you on the other side.